Hi, Etienne. I just would like to maybe just do this recording so we can have a look what's going on. So if I understood the scenario, it's like there is an invoice which is in euro, and that's created under an AUD entity, right? And that AUD entity, this how do you call this invoice, which is in EUR, a payment has been made on the USD bank account. But if we have a look at this one here again, accounts receivable, receive payment in here. Let me just duplicate this further. And I think I have cash management check account here. And for 400, I have this one. So 800 SVB. All right, so USD and AU. So if I select this one here, bank account. So this is for 800 SVB, right? So let me just click on view again, just to make sure. So this is a USD bank account for 400. So 400 is actually a, so you can see here, 400 is AUD based currency. So if I process the payment in here, so sorry, the 800 SVB, right? So if I select this one here or the account, 800 SVB is not coming up. So that's the issue that we have here, right? So you cannot have a currency. You can only see the bank accounts in here belonging to the same base, having meaning the currency of the bank account should be the same as the base currency. So in this case, we cannot select that at all. Right. So even if I choose, let's say USD in here, right? And if I select, yeah, so I cannot still see that 800 SVB in there. It's all because it's actually in USD, a currency belonging to allocation, which is AUD. All right. So the workaround in here is that what I mentioned earlier in the email is that if we look at, sorry, just go back there. So this one here, if I, this is the invoice again, right? So this is the invoice. So I dated it 11th yesterday. And this one here. So I ran the, so I can just run the AR aging in here. So reporting currency, let's say transaction currency, or maybe base currency, or whatever that is. But yep, so view in here. All right, so it's still here, transaction currency. But if I make it transaction currency, right? Transaction currency, yep, I have it here. So 167.70. So looking at this one here, it's all because of the conversion, right? So 167.93.90. Okay. And what other options do I have in here? Base currency. What if in base currency? As of today, yep, okay, 167.93, right? Okay. So it's all because of the, okay, it's all because of the conversion in here that's being used, right? Anyway, so I'll just run it based on base currency, right? So you will see in here 167.93. That's what's the base currency anyways, right? Okay, so assuming that this, since you cannot process a payment actually from the bank account, so what I'm saying is that we can process an AR adjustment for the same amount. So assuming that, yep, so this is their invoice, then assuming that the payment is actually being made today. So for the whole amount, right? So you have the adjustment in here, which is today, and customer in there. I think I have this new customer that I created as well. So the transaction currency, we want it to be in EUR, or and base currency is in AUD. That's what we want, right? And I'll just use the same um, account in there. And for 100 tax detail, I have G1. So that's 110. Yeah, because the exchange rate is actually different in there. But what we can do is that maybe you can override it to reflect the same as the exchange rate from their invoice. So you can have it like just copy this one instead, 163. So they'll just be the same, right? Okay. Exchange rates 167. Okay, sorry. Tax detail. I'll just disregard this one here. So no tax. Let's put no tax there. All right. So at least we'll be comparing apples to apples, right? So we have here that's the same one. So I have it dated on the 12th, right? So if I click on posts, so that's the adjustment. So the adjustment, so if I run the customer aging, so customize this for today, just based on GL posting. Yep. So it's actually 0 coming up through here. So yep. So maybe that's one thing that you can probably um, check wherein the exchange rate. My Yeah, you might as well just make the exchange rate similar to the original invoice. So in this case, we have 100 euro, an invoice, then an AR adjustment. Just how do you call this? The AR adjustment has just been created for 100 euro as well, using the same exchange rate as the invoice, assuming that the whole invoice has been paid in USD, right? But this one, the purpose of this AR adjustment is primarily to just to cancel really the AR invoice, right? Because we don't want to be seeing this invoice to be, posted forever. But that's why you can see though, it's already zeroed out there. But just for the purpose of making sure that the status will already be paid, so you can process you can receive a payment. So that's for your source again. So today is yep. So it doesn't really matter what's the account in here. So remember, the purpose of this screen is just really to clear the status of the invoice from posted to paid, similar to the corresponding AR adjustment, right? So the AR adjustment applied through here. So sorry, it should be what am okay, AR sales invoice currency. I should choose EUR, right? Okay, EUR in here. And okay, so receive date is today. Then I have the payment amount. Payment amount is 100. We can just leave it like that. Okay. So EUR. Right. Okay. So amount received in EUR. So how much was that? We said, yeah, amount received in EUR is 100. Amount received in AUD. So we'll just get the exchange rate, converted exchange of 167.93, 167.93. All right. So this is actually being received in the, how do you call this, in the bank account for AUD. But let's just check later what actually happens here if we see anything at all upon processing of this one here, right? So, all right, so payment amount 100 EUR, translated base amount, which is the invoice amount. Um, 167.93 and post it. All right, so posted payment is here. What did I do? Applied, base amount applied. Yep, I think I need to. Did I apply the credit? Yeah, sorry. Okay, what we can do is that let's just reverse this one. Sorry about that. I thought I just clicked the credit. Come on. So let's reverse it. Reversal date, which is today. Yep. So we will just reverse the payment because I just really want to apply the credit. All right. So we will probably be seeing this later anyways, but that's okay. So let's just go back. Sorry. 167.93 as EUR. I received the payment in here. Then your source, bank account. Yep. But this one, we wanted this. All right. It's there. I'll just go to, or I can just do this, right? So meaning, select AR invoice and line detail. Okay, so credit to apply. I'll just apply everything, right? Because this is the AR adjustment that we created. So 100 in there, right? So payment amount, um, yeah, I think that should be fine from there, right? So credit to apply, credit available is already being applied there, and if click on post, yeah, yeah, just applying it basically, right? I shouldn't be selecting anything here at all. So, yep, so this is the process, receive a payment just primarily to offset the credit to the air invoice. So I just apply the credit basically to the invoice, nothing received at all. Even if I selected AUD account in here, that's fine. So it wouldn't do anything at all on the bank account. So post that payment. All right, so we have this one here. This is what I was expecting anyway. So adjustment applied, transaction payment amount is 0, credit amount applied is 0, all right? And yep, 0 everything. Credit applied is 100 euro. Perfect. Okay, let's go back to the AR invoice. And if I refresh this one, I would expect that the state should change into paid, right? And let's look at the adjustment as well. So if I go to accounts receivable and adjustments, this one, yeah, it's also paid. But let's look at the customer aging. So as of today, all right, yep, it's already 0 in here, right? So it's all because the status of the adjustment as well as the corresponding invoice um, um, should be paid, right? So nothing is already coming up in here. So I'm not sure what the customer is actually seeing in here. Could be related to the exchange rate that they've actually used on the invoice. But looking at this one here is already cleared customer aging. And more importantly as well, let's have a look at this is the, we don't want that. Instead, what we want is the cash management. I'd like to see the register. We didn't have any, it's 0 payment, right? But I just would like to make sure that we're not posting anything at all in the AUD bank account. All right. So what am I looking at? So we have 400. I think this is the one that I used earlier, right? To process the payment. So 67. Yeah, This is the void anyways, right? That I erroneously processed earlier. So payment, but I voided it, so 0 anyways. But this payment itself, this payment, what I mean is this one is not appearing anything at all here, because these avoided amounts are these transactions that are erroneously processed, right? But this one is not coming up at all. Besides, it was a payment process for a 0 amount, so it's not there. So which is great. So the AUD bank account is not touched at all. So yep. So we've seen that process a payment with the credit and the invoice having the same exchange rate. The status have already been cleared out, and that the customer aging is not showing anything at all for that customer. Let's have a look if even if it's transaction currency. Yep, it's 0 as well. So which is great, meaning that we were able to apply the AR credit against the AR invoice. Yeah, but that is just the clearing up of the status of the adjustment and the invoice. But what we need to do is that you need to process a journal entry, right? So the journal entry will just be the one apply credit. Yeah, your invoice paid. Okay, so the journal entry is debiting the USD bank account. So this is for the actual amount received, right? For the okay. So USD bank account 16901. Okay. So if you look at the adjustment, I'm just actually looking at what I've emailed to you. Anyway, so yep. So if you will notice here, right, I've with the adjustment, which is on the like payment date, for example, the payment date is this one here. You will notice in here that the amount debited is actually the income account, right? But this should be credited basically because this is not actually just an actual adjustment. We just process the adjustment just to offset their invoice. So we have to cancel any posting against this account when you process the payment through the journal. So the journal entry will be your um, will be the one to reconcile or to recognize the actual payment. All right. So the actual payment in here. So just disregard tax implication in there. So 400, I have that there. Account. So what we need to do with the journal entry is that, yep, we have to debit the account then. So which is the USD bank account, right? Not the AUD bank account. So the USD bank account, let me just go back here. Then 300. I think I've used then 350 as well. Let me just go back to this checking account here. Yeah, let's solve 350 USD and AUD. Is this the one? Let me just have a look again. Nope. Anyway, so location 400, and I'd like to, yeah, let's just use this one. USD in AUD. All right, so I'll just use this bank account. All right, it's a USD bank account. So this is the, okay, this is the actual USD and AUD. Sorry, let me just double check this one here again. 400, yep, it's USD, right? That's where the actual payment was done. So, yep. So the transaction currency is in USD, correct? So USD in here. So assuming that might be, the actual amount, uh, the actual amount was actually in, how do you call this? 105 USD, for example. right? And we have to remember we debited the income account because of the adjustment. So we have to credit this one here. So the net effect of the AR adjustment and this journal entry against this income account will just be um uh yep, will just be should be in EUR, right? Yeah. So transaction credit will be 100. Okay, 100 in there, and any difference will just yep. So if you want 16809, we just have a look again. 16809. All right. So 16809. But what's the rate? 167.93 that I have in here, right? So 167.93, because this is the actual posting itself on the AR adjustments. I'd like it to be, 167.93 as well. So what can we do? We can just 167.93 exchange rate in here. So we can just, yeah, 1.6793. Does that matter? Yeah, 167.93 in there. And yep, so just to make this synchronize again to the adjustment, right? So because the adjustment has just been posted for 100, and the exchange rate based on the invoice, which is converted into 167.93 AUD. So 167.93 AUD in there. EUR, that's what we want. And for this one, is just based on the conversion actually that you have on this for today's date. And any difference? All right, so any difference will just be the a forex gain or loss, right? So yeah, we can just retain it as AUD in there. And what's the difference? So basically, let me just get my calculator in here. So 167.93, which is the income being canceled. Then as a result of the conversion of the dollar amount from USD, right, to AUD, which is your base currency, minus 164.73. So we have 320. So that's the Forex gain or loss. All right. And post this. All right. So it's already there. And if we have a look, let me just rerun this customer aging. Just what's the impact basically? Nothing in there. But what even for bank register for the AUD bank account, let me just double check. There's nothing new. Yep. But if you change this though to what's the other one? I think it's 960, right? 960 USD in AUD. And we should be seeing, yep, we should be seeing it here, which is 163, right? 73. So which is the result of the journal entry. So if we go back again to the journal entry in there, where's that one? Sorry, let me just double check that. Cash management first. Check account, which is 960. So this is a USD for this one, and 960 SVB, right? Then if I look at the, let me just open this up again. So 105, right? So yep, there you go, basically. So if I open up general ledger, general entry, general journal, This is the journal that we created, right? So we received a payment on the USD bank account for 105. This is just a conversion basically, which is as of this date 164.73. So there you go. So 105, which is the beginning balance, we have received 105 as what we can see here, 105 USD. And yeah, starting balance is 100 plus 105, 205. So we have 205 there. Yeah. Okay. Hope this helps. Thank you.